What's going on YouTube? Chris Ola is back with another video on the channel, and today we've got the Arsenal versus Brentford match review. So, Brentford 2, Arsenal 0. Disappointing game, if I can say, summarise it in a short amount of words. Disappointing game. However, it wasn't surprising. I expected it. I'm not saying I expected a loss, I expected that performance. I know in my match preview I did say maybe 3-2, there's going to be goals, but I'm not too confident because we haven't finished our transfer window. What happened in the game, the goals that we conceded, the lack of clear-cut chance creation, it all boiled down to incompetence in the market. We're missing an attacking midfielder, been linked to Madison, Odegaard. We haven't got any of them in before the start of the season. We've been linked to central midfielders to replace Granit Xhaka, and we've given Granit Xhaka an extension. Not that Xhaka had a poor game, I'm not blaming it on him. I'm just reeling off our incompetencies in the transfer market. And again, right back, been linked to right. We haven't been linked to right backs, but Arsenal fans as a whole have been saying we need to get a right back in, because we don't have a good right back. Ainsley doesn't want to be a right back, even though he could be that answer. Chambers, although has a bit of technique, he can do a job now and then. He's not a full right back. He's not a right back. He's played at right back and has continued to develop at right back consistently. He's been shifted to centre back sometimes. He's played DM on some loans, so he's not the answer. And a goalkeeper as well. We need a goalkeeper because Leno is not comfortable playing out from the back. We also need a centre forward. We've been linked to one, maybe two. I don't know. Yeah, I know Martinez were mid to or mild to strong links. Vlahovic, I haven't watched too much of that guy. I've watched a bit, not too much. We've been linked to him. I don't know if they're credible rumours. Let's get on to rating of the players, because I'll talk about Brentford after. So if I can go and find, I'm using SofaScore just because I feel like it's got everything that I need there. So we'll start off with Bernd Leno. He didn't have a good game. He didn't have a terrible game. Like, he didn't stink it up. But his distribution out from the back is average. It's average, and because it's average, we're suffering. We're not able to play out from the back confidently, consistently. It's not just him. It's a combination of everyone. But he's the goalkeeper. It starts from him. And if your starting point isn't as best as it can be, the rest is going to suffer. So he didn't really have a good game. The first save, if your starting point isn't as best as it can be, the rest is going to, not be as good as it can be. So, Leno. Oh yeah, and I also mentioned that the first goal, maybe it was savable. It was a good goal, but to be beaten at your near post, you always have to look at that under a microscope. Like, I haven't watched it. When was the game? The game was on Friday, and I'm recording this on Tuesday just because I've messed up the recording a few times, and I've patterned some settings just so I can record in 1080p and whatnot. But yeah, the second goal, I don't feel like it was his fault, but a goalkeeper who's commanding, a goalkeeper who's not 6'1", 6'2", who's in the 6'4", 6'5" region, probably can claim that, and that's what we're missing. I know a lot of fans have been screaming for Onana, so Onana won't solve that issue, but he will solve the distribution issue. He will solve the playing out from the back, the being comfortable, etc., etc. And he's quite a young keeper. He's much better shot stopper in my opinion. So we'll see. Ben White, not the greatest of debuts. He started off decently. Going forward, he is very good. Can be progressive. Can hit long passes with his right foot, his left foot. So that's very, very vital for the way we want to play going forward. But defensively, there's work to be done. Aerially, he's quite poor. I believe he won less than 50% of his duels, which it's not a good look. What else was there? So yeah, 50% of his duels, not a good look. Ground duels, that's aerial duels. Ground duels, I don't think he won enough of him. Let me even just have a look. I literally can have a look at the stats, can't I? Like they're right here. So he didn't get dribble pass, which is fine. So he won 3 out of 8 elbows. That needs to be better. Possession loss, whatever. It's not deep. Like I said, going forward, passing is brilliant. Long passing. I know he hit one ball on his left foot, and we were through. Shame we didn't capitalise on it. Ground juice 50%, not great. So like, he didn't get dribble pass. I wouldn't say he was at fault for those goals by himself, but a centre back who's better aerially, a centre back who is better on the ground, probably we don't concede one more of those goals, but it is what it is. I can't pin it on him, and I don't want to be too harsh. Pablo Mari, bit slow. We know he's slow. Defensively was a tiny bit more solid, just because they were probably targeting him more, and he had more to show for his defensive performance. But again, he's slow. He's a backup centre back, so can't get onto him too much. Passing out from the back, he is a bit static. He's a bit stiff. So even that aspect of the game, it's not great. But the game was so far away, but I can't really pin any moments where I wanted to scream at him. So just an average to below average performance, being as we didn't keep a clean sheet and we conceded twice. Kieran Tierney, he did his thing, created like 6 chances. You can't ask for more than Kieran Tierney. None of the goals came down the left. They weren't too threatening down the left, apart from when Tierney was up a bit and his cover, Mari or Xhaka, were just not able to live with, I think, that French striker. I forgot his name, but we'll get onto him. He did his thing. Now onto Lokonga. Lokonga was very good. Very, very good. How old is he? 21? And he stepped up like that. Like, it wasn't a perfect performance, but it was a very, very, very promising performance. He can evade the press well. There was one pass that's been circulating on Twitter from Ben White, because Arsenal discourse around playing out from the back, who to blame and whatnot. People were just talking about that, how Ben White played in a pass to Lokonga, and he just rolled the player. He rolled the player, laid it off to Xhaka, I believe, and we were through. Like, that is what we want to see consistently, but we don't. And Lokonga was at the heart of that. His ability to evade the press, his awareness. At the age of 21, he's going to be a player for us. So I want to keep seeing him play. I'm glad that we've got a player who's young, who can step into Partey's boots. Maybe not be as good as Partey, but we didn't really miss Partey. We can't say we lost because we didn't have Partey. And that's testament to Lokonga. Xhaka, alright game. I'm just going to touch on the negatives first, just because we always see Xhaka getting pressed. We always see him being too slow, and that's why I personally wanted us to bring in, let's say, a Bruno. We didn't have a chance to like a Locatelli, but a centre mid who can replace Xhaka, and we can move Xhaka on, just so we don't have those incompetencies in the midfield when we're playing out from the back. But it is what it is. Other than him being slow on the ball at times, or thinking he has way too much time than he does, he had a decent performance. He kind of did his job. I'd say the front 4 is the reason we didn't score, not Xhaka's fault. So it is what it is. Had an average to decent performance, but that's not good enough, really. We want all our players hitting 7, 8 out of 10s consistently. Nicolas Pepe, poor game. He had a poor game. Couldn't keep the ball. Couldn't take on his man. Was being safe. I'd say his decision making in the final third wasn't good enough. There were times where Chambers was making runs, and it's fine. You don't have to pass it to him so he can cut back every time. But if you're not hitting the top corner consistently, producing or forcing saves out the keeper, then no, you do need to think, okay, let me pass it, let me do this. But unfortunately, no, he just didn't have a great game. I mean, we didn't score. Championship defenders, not trying to disrespect them, but if he can't take it past Brentford's left back, he's going to struggle this season, isn't he? So he needs to fix up. He's had a pre-season as well, so we can't blame that. And Saka's also going to be breathing down his neck. So if he wants to have game time, he needs to pan up. Martinelli, game to forget. Don't want to get on him too much. He's a young guy, first game back, didn't really have a preseason. Hasn't been playing loads of minutes for Brazil at the Olympics, but you know, um, he should have been pretty fresh and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, game to forget for him. Wasn't taking on players. His ball retention was poor. Don't remember him having any chances. Like his passing was mediocre. It is what it is. He got subbed off. Yeah, hopefully he comes back way stronger. His mentality is there, but the ability, just need to see it more consistently, and he can become a player. Emil Smith Rowe, definitely the best of the forwards slash attacking midfielders. He was linking up, he was doing his thing, but in my honest opinion, like this is not a criticism to him as a player, but I don't feel like we should be putting that sole creative burden on him in the final third, because he's not that player. He's not that creative demon that he's gonna, just dominate the chance creation. Like he's more of a, I don't know how to explain it, but when I see him off the left, giving him less responsibility in the chance creation aspect of the game, he tends to flourish more. He can be direct. His one-touch passing is very, very good. His one-touch play, his knowledge of where to be and whatnot. I feel like he's gonna add goals to his game this season, but he needs help. He needs help creatively. Pepe, Nelly, they're not creative. They're not really creative wingers at all. And Saka is more a creative winger than both of them. We need to bring in an attacking midfielder to give Emil Smith Rowe a hand. But I'm sidetracking. This game he was decent. Let's just even have a look at his stats. Like passing was calm. 2 key passes, a long pass, dribbles. He could do more than he can dribble more. We know he can do that, but get him some help. Get him some help for goodness sake. And Balogun, not the best full debut, but he wasn't terrible. He wanted to link up play. I feel like he needs to bulk up a lot because he was getting bullied a lot. But welcome to the Premier League, I guess. So we shouldn't be relying on him though. He should be getting minutes, and I'm glad he got minutes, but we should not be relying on him to be spearheading our attack. That is very, very poor. But I'm not gonna get onto anyone because Aubameyang and Lacazette were out due to illness. So yeah, I can't wait to see more from him. Hopefully he takes that loss in and he sits down with his coaches and whatnot, and he comes back a much better striker. I've got no doubts that he could have a good career at this club as well, because everyone seems to trust him. He seems to trust himself and has confidence in himself, but today wasn't his day. So that's it for the squad. We'll just talk about Brentford. Like, Ivan Toney was alright. This guy, I think he's French. He was ripping us to shreds, hit the post. He was just lightning. Santos, I didn't even know he's a winger, but he popped up on the left hand side, and that goal he scored was a wonder goal. And their playing out from the back was adequate. Their pressing was very, very good. If they stick to their principles, they try to press. They don't just set up deep blocks throughout the whole game, as some lower teams tend to do. But if they stick to their principles, got no doubt that they'll have a strong chance of staying up and continuing, because they've added quality. They didn't just bring all their championship players up, even though they had some championship players who are capable or at a Premier League standard, but they've added quality as well. They've invested, and all the best to them. They deserve this win. I've got no ill thoughts towards them. Like, there was no dirty play, there was no incompetence from the referee really, even though we had a mild penalty shout, but I don't think we should have got that penalty. No, but yeah, fair play to Brentford. Mikel Edu fixed this window. Like, the second this match finished, oh man, should have been hearing like, I don't know, a deal should have been on the play or something. We need a right back, we need a goalkeeper, we need a DM/central midfielder. I don't think we're going to get that. We need an attacking midfielder, we need a centre forward/striker. Even a left-sided winger who is creative, who is able to, you know, give us something in the box as well, because we haven't got goals in that team. That team that you saw, you might see a goal from Pepe now and again. You might see a goal from Nelly now and again. You might see a goal from Balogun because he's a striker, but you can't sit there and say they are going to be goals from this guy. Like, this is a mad jump. I'm not comparing ourselves to Liverpool, but they've got Salah, goals, Mane, goals, even Jota chips in now and again. Let's look at United. They got Greenwood, who's 19, goals, Bruno, goals, Rashford, goals. Yeah, that's just 3 players. City, they've got goals everywhere really, and they're just an amazing team. Chelsea don't have that, didn't have that, but now they've got Havertz, Lukaku. Spurs, they got Son, Kane, who knows, but they've got Son, and he's one of the best finishers in the league. And then you look at Arsenal. You know, Pepe, if he was on job and if the system was great, we'd be able to put him not up there, but we'd be able to say, oh, where goals coming from? Pepe. Where goals coming from? Aubameyang, etc., etc. But we're not at that stage, and we need to pattern up. Hopefully, we pick up some form. We're playing Chelsea at home. We seem to be their burger team, but it's not the game that we want. It's not a game that you would be down and be like, oh, let's have Chelsea. Maybe it is, who knows? But I'll have a match preview coming for that. It'll be released 24 hours before kickoff of the game. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, if you've got any feedback, let me know, because I don't feel like these match previews, reviews are as best as I want, as good as I want. In fact, you can't even see my eyes, bro. But yeah, that's it from me. I'll see you guys in a bit.